Yeah, charger.
4-0, baby.
And we are live. Welcome to the Redbird Redzone podcast. My name is Will. You can find me on Twitter at LiveOnThatSwing. Joining me today, I've got two fantabulous co-hosts. Why don't you two introduce yourselves?
Yo, what up? We're back again. My name is Mac. You can find me on Twitter at AZSportsFien. That's FIEN.
And my name is Jackie. You can find me on Twitter at JSanDiego. That's 2 O's. Here to talk with you guys about the ass whooping in LA.
Hell yeah.
What a game it was. 4-0, baby. I still can't believe it. Absolutely insane.
Yeah, if you hear bottles popping over here, that's me celebrating with some Modelo's. Let's go.
It's Modelo time, fool.
Absolutely. And it is, and frankly, I think all of us were surprised what an ass whooping this was. I mean, that garbage time touchdown made it look a lot closer than it actually was. 38-20 Cardinals in LA. I don't think any of us had it being as much of a blowout as it was. I mean, I remember I had it 21-18, and I'm pretty sure the Cardinals scored 21 points in the second quarter.
Yeah, something like that.
Or by the second quarter. Just an absolutely insane game, and we're here to talk about it. So first things first, let's talk about this passing offense. Ball distribution. Kyler Murray got it to damn near everybody. He made this game look effortless. He unfortunately broke his streak for most games this season. Some fucking thing about like 80% completion rating, something. He had like 75% completion rating. Just an absolutely insane game against a defense that's been touted as one of the best ones in the league. Guys, what do you guys think?
Yeah, I think the most impressive thing was almost how well we ran the ball too. I did not see that coming. Chase Edmonds on that was an 11-play, 94-yard drive. They just dominated the ground game, and that was something that, when you dominate a defense like that you're going for their soul, you're going for the jugular right there. And you can just tell we took the crowd out of it. But the passing game, that's the biggest thing that I've seen with Kyler that's impressed me the most is those deep balls. Just how consistent he is with those passes, about 15, 20 yards or even more down the field. And he's on one right now, and this is the first game he didn't throw an INT. So it's all up from here.
Kyler Murray's been basically the king of the deep ball this year. He leads the league in receptions, yards, and is tied for touchdowns in all passes thrown 20 yards or more. He's been on an absolute tear. He's basically a walking cheat code right now. It's just completely insane.
Yeah, everyone's calling him a problem. And I love that description about him. Right? Yeah, it is a problem because he can beat you on the ground. He can beat you in the air. We've never had a quarterback like this, and it's just awesome that not only do we have this weapon of a quarterback, but we have a full and complete team to put around him.
Yeah.
And I mean, quarterbacks like him, just in terms of being the complete package, are so rare in the NFL. I mean, even the best rushing quarterbacks, like, say, Michael Vick, Lamar Jackson, often their detractors would say, well, they're not good passers. If you take you put a spy on them and you can end their game. And it's like Kyler Murray, if you put 7 deep against his receivers, he's going to beat you on the ground. If you have a blitz on him, he's going to beat you through the air. There's no fucking stopping him, man. He's just completely insane.
Yeah, I said in my bold prediction last week that he was going to run for more yards against the Rams than he did the first 3 weeks combined. He didn't do that, but he did rush for a season high, nearly 40 yards. So that's something. And then the other bold prediction we had was 2 turnovers by Matthew Stafford, 2 INTs. And it almost happened until that soft roughing the passer call on Isaiah Simmons, where he hit his hand on his Stafford's helmet. But so we almost had that. So
yeah. By the way, bullshit fucking call. I mean, I am I am really against roughing the passer penalties that are just like inertia, because it's like at a certain point there's just no controlling it. Like, he was that deep in the motion. There's no real stopping it at that point without it just getting ugly. So, I mean, I thought that was a bullshit penalty. I thought that might have been some weird way to get the Rams back in it. That's probably just me being paranoid.
It's kind of tit for tat because people called the roughing the passer on Murray soft, even though the defender in that situation did touch his face mask.
Oh, yeah, he pulled on it, too. Those dumbass Rams fans booing. I'm like, what are you booing? Like, you have a Jumbotron right there.
Oh, I mean, to be fair, it's like that's any game. If you have a penalty against your team, you're going to be booing no matter what. There's never a agreeable crowd that's like, oh yeah, totally, I get it when it's when there's a penalty against your team.
We could commit murder and I'd boo.
Right. Those refs were a little sus though. Like that one. Remember that DeAndre Hopkins play in the red zone where it was ruled a catch, and then like 10 seconds later they overturned it to an incompletion. I think it was right before the half, so it was under the 2-minute warning. And so, like, everyone's waiting for a booth review, and that booth review never comes. And it didn't look like if the ball hit the ground, I don't think it helped him with his catch. But yeah, there was a point there where I was, a little pissed off at the.
Are you talking about the one where he was like heading out of bounds? Because it's like it didn't look like he quite had control.
No, not that one. It was over the middle. He was like full extension, laying out for it on a low pass.
Yes, they said it hit the ground or some shit.
Yeah, they initially rolled it a catch, and then they overturned it, and then it's like, okay, well, if it's that close, you're gonna at least booth review it. Nothing. So, but I think pretty sure we ended up pounding it in for a touchdown, anyways, or we at least got Prater field goal, and what Prater was again, 3 for 3, I believe, on field goal attempts. So that's something we haven't had to really worry about, which is nice compared to what we've had in the past.
Yeah, I mean, you guys aren't ready for me to go full homer and just go full light side. I mean, I am.
That's what we're here for. Go.
I am absolutely fucking pumped about this team because it's like I'm looking at this team and I'm looking at how they played. And it's like I'd argue that this is probably the most cohesive unit we've had. I mean, 2015, you had a great offense, great defense, but I mean, that special teams was kind of lacking. And this team is. It's fucking stellar on all angles, and I still can't believe we're as good as we are. Holy shit.
Yeah, so it's the first 4-game win streak we've had since 2015. It's our first 4-0 start since Kevin Cobb's 2012 team. And we're the first team to start 4-0 with 3 road wins by at least 12 points or more since the 1980 Chargers. So, I mean, really, if you're going to nitpick about something, it's that's all we're, trying to kill time with. We got to break down, the goods, the bads. What could we be better at? But I mean, there's really not too many negatives that you can really point out right now.
That is such a hyper-specific stat. I wonder who the hell dug that up.
I heard it on the radio, so I'll give a shout out to the radio.
Hell yeah!
I feel like every week we see some kind of hyper-specific stat about something.
Yeah, My only negative about this team so far is extremely minor. Our rushing defense could use a little pizzazz. I mean,
I agree.
DJ,
not
DJ. Darrell Henderson, he had 89 yards on 14 attempts. That's almost at 16-yard average. Jesus, that's a 6.4 yard average. That's you can allow that in a game like this, but if we're playing a team like the Browns, like we'll be playing in a couple weeks, that's not something you can quite allow. So I mean.
Yeah, they got a couple of running backs in Cleveland. I did think the Rams should have probably ran the ball even more in that first half because the Cardinals were getting pressure on Stafford and making Stafford get off his spot, and his accuracy was off pretty much all game long. And they were gashing us through the run. So thankfully they didn't, and then thankfully they put Sony Michel in there, and I think that might have been the biggest play of the game. I know there's a Byron Murphy INT in the first quarter, which kind of turned the tide. But that Marcus Golden fumble after the Rams got the ball back after we scored a touchdown to make it 14-10. We get the ball back. A couple plays later, we punch it in and make it 21-10. And then it was all downhill from there. So.
Yeah, I mean, you can count on one hand how many minutes this game was actually competitive. It was just insane how fast the tides turned for the Cardinals. I mean, frankly,
real ugly, real quick for the Rams.
Yeah, frankly, for a football genius like McVay's touted as being, I'm really surprised he didn't go more for the run because it's like they were tearing us up with Henderson. I don't get why they didn't, but
what's done is to them for being dumb.
I can't complain too much, man. We damn near won by 24. So,
but I think we all can agree that is probably our biggest weakness right now is the rush defense, right?
Oh yeah,
Right.
100%. Our passing defense barely gives any, gives any time to quarterbacks to do anything. But I mean, our rushing defense, it's like it looks like a middle school team, man. It's gonna
really our best, run stopper, Corey Peters. I'd say JJ Watt's up there too, but I mean, again, they're not really running right at JJ. And if they are, they're um, kind of doing some motions and stuff that kind of throwing it off a little bit. But Corey Peters, his playing time went down percentage-wise in snaps for the third game in a row. So I kind of wonder what's going on there. And really, all of our defensive line besides J.J. Watt is getting like 20% of the snaps. They're only like 20 snaps per game. So no one can really get in a big rhythm. So I would like to see more Corey Peters. I know I said that last week. More Corey Peters moving forward. Just to try to get some stability there because we do. I think Corey and JJ next to each other that can be a combo that we can win with and dominate even some teams up front. But I mean, until then, we're still crushing teams. But there's always little things that you can always work on.
Yeah, we got to clean that up.
I'm gonna say some words that have rarely been said in our team's entire history. Our offensive line looks absolutely stout. They made Aaron Donald look completely invisible.
They made him look silly.
I mean that video of Aaron Donald, jumping near Kyler Murray, and he's just like whoop. That's the funniest thing I've seen all day.
His all fours.
I mean, he made him look like a complete fool, and I am just absolutely here for it. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think the O-line was the key to this win. We were getting Kyler time to throw, which was, I think that's how we failed in the past, like against the Rams. Like they want us to do these stupid dinking and dunking short throws, these runs that are going nowhere. So I think, beating him through the air, letting Kyler sit back and throw, I think it caught them by surprise.
I mean, without question.
Then you start the game, you're throwing so well, and then you just punish them. By that time, by the third, fourth quarter, the defensive line they're breathing hard out there, compared to the Cardinals D line where we just talked about, where we're only playing like you have Rashard Lawrence and Fotu that are playing like 18, maybe 20 snaps a game. You got the Rams pretty much going 50-50. They're playing about 35 snaps each. So by the fourth quarter, you start pounding the run game, and the offensive line is waiting for that time. Offensive linemen love the run game because they can actually go forward. They can go 3 yards downfield and hit somebody, And so by the third, fourth quarter, the Rams looked like they were worn out, and I think I just said ward out. Oh,
Patrick Peterson.
Patrick Peterson, what are you doing to me with those beers, Modelo? But that's something that you love to see. You start with the pass and then just, go for their heart in the third, fourth quarter with that run game, and it was beautiful to see.
And shout out to the O-line for getting our run game going.
Sorry, let me just read real quick while we're on the O-line. I don't know if you guys follow that Johnny Kinsley on Twitter, but he always posts the ESPN run blocking grades. And so Josh Jones, shout out to Josh Jones. I know he had a penalty, at least one penalty, and it wasn't his best game, I didn't think, overall from watching tape. But Josh Jones is the number one offensive tackle pass block win rate, and he's number one in offensive guard pass block win rate as well. That is a friggin' animal right there. So I mean, that's something that we weren't really expecting. I don't think any of us really expected him to come in and play like an all-pro. That's essentially what he's been doing. Add that with Rodney Hudson, who's right up there through win rate as well, and Justin Pugh. And then I think Max Garcia held his own too, because Aaron Donald was bouncing back and forth from Pugh to Max Garcia. And they both held their own better than what we could have imagined.
I mean, absolutely. I mean, this O-line, I'm going to steal another thing from Kinsley. I am really sorry. Has only allowed...
We're shouting them out.
Has only allowed 9 QB hits throughout 4 weeks.
That's unreal.
I mean, I think we allowed that in like 2 games in any other year.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I have something here where
2 halves maybe.
Kyler Murray didn't Kyler Murray didn't get hit once in that game, which is, think about that heading in. Like, for the last few years, we've always been afraid, like that's what the one thing facing the Rams, they always seem to hurt our QBs, or, they're a very physical group. And then on the other end, we hit Matthew Stafford 5 times. That's something that, you can't really quantify. What am I trying to say here? So you can't really quantify. You can quantify how many times you've been hit compared to bad throw percentage. So Kyler Murray had 6.9, nice bad throw percentage against the Rams. Didn't get hit once. Matt Stafford got hit 5 times. Had a bad throw percentage of 26.8% against us, which is far and away the worst of his season. And I imagine it's far and away the worst of any Rams player QB that we faced, because we haven't really been able to get to Goff as much as past years. And even though we didn't sack Matt Stafford, we still made him uncomfortable in the pocket, and that went a long way in the win as well.
Yeah, I mean, it is completely insane. I'm going to be saying those words a lot this one. I'm still completely in shock as to this whole situation.
Hey, I'm glad we're here talking about it, though, man. We've always talked about how much funner it is doing a show after a beatdown, instead of the other way around. So,
or I mean, even a close one, because it's like a close one, you still have to talk about. Oh well, these are the mistakes we made. This is.
Yeah.
I was talking to our editor, but Bobbles, shortly after the game, and I said, I'm looking at this note sheets that I made, and I don't see a single real negative that's on this thing.
And trust me, folks, that is rare.
For Will.
Not a negative, right?
No, I've been really pessimistic when it comes to the Rams, so I'm glad this is biting me in the ass.
Yeah, I mean, the only real negative I see in my notes wasn't about the Cardinals. It was about the commentating team. I said the announcers don't know shit. It said that the Cardinals' move to defer to the second half was a quote gutsy move.
What was that? That was Chris Myers, right? Yeah, that dude was fucking garbage. Someone was like, he looked like he lost his bet. Like he bet on the Rams, and that's what it sounded like, especially in the second half.
Yeah,
it sounded like he bet at his house.
It felt like it was a. It felt like it was a. Now. It felt like it was a Homer broadcast all the way through to the end. I mean, they were talking about the game as if it was the Rams' mistakes that kept us in it, and not just us playing a damn good game of football. And I really don't appreciate that. I really hope we get better announcers this week.
Did you guys hear him also throw a little shade at who just retired? What the? Sorry, I can't think right now.
Larry Malcolm, who?
Yes. They're like, oh, Marco Wilson forced Malcolm Butler into retirement.
Oh shit! I did not hear that, but.
And I was like,
he obviously heard that.
It was in the fourth quarter.
Damn, I was pretty faded by then. Oh,
yeah,
makes sense.
Fuck the announcers. I hope we get a better team this week.
I mean,
we want Gus and a keep to lead.
Yes,
can
sir.
we just give praise to our secondary? Shout out Jalen Thompson. I thought he was the best player on the field Sunday. The way he was laying hits. I think he had 1 or 2 flags on him as well. I know one was pretty sketch, but he almost knocked Cooper Kupp into next week. He laid the wood on somebody else as well from the wide receiver core. But just Byron Murphy, Robert Alford, Marco Wilson, Buddha, and Jalen Thompson, that's looking like a mean secondary right there.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
We have Byron now ranks 4th out of all cornerbacks who've been targeted at least 20 times, and completion percentage against, he's at 58 or something. I don't have that right in front of me. And then he's 5th in passer rating allowed. And there are a lot of people who didn't believe in him because he was stuck in the slot for the most part. But you can't tell me Steve Keim didn't draft him knowing that in year 3, Patrick Peterson wasn't going to be back, that Byron Murphy was going to be his guy. So shout out to everyone who, kind of knew that.
He's not a cute CB1.
Yeah. So shout out to everyone out there if you're listening. If you had that belief too, because he got put into the fire when Patrick Peterson got suspended in his year 1. So he's basically cornerback 1. Kyler's rookie year. and that did not go well. But that's what great pros do. You learn from that, you grow from it, and he's looking like a menace out there. So 3 INTs is second in the NFL right now. Shout out to Byron. Shout out to the whole secondary for sure.
Yeah, and Byron Murphy is hold up, I gotta find the exact stat of it. He is the first Cardinal since 1980 to have 3 picks in the first 4 games. I mean, Byron Murphy is having himself a year.
Yeah.
He is the leader of a very...
What year did you say? What, 19 what?
80.
Before I was born.
Before I was born. That's what you know. It's a long time.
Damn.
Yeah, I mean, he is by far the best player in a already very stout Cardinals secondary. I really like what I'm seeing from him so far, and I really hope he can keep it up.
Yeah, exactly. Good corners are so hard to come by.
Oh yeah, especially these days. I mean, that play he made on Deshaun Jackson was really, really crazy.
A lot of people brought it up. Yeah, the INT. Yeah, a lot of people brought it up, but it looked like he baited Matt Stafford. You know, he kind of looked like he gave him a window, and Stafford kind of underthrew it a little bit, I believe. But Byron still made a hell of a play considering what Deshaun Jackson did the week prior. So I can't wait for this matchup against Deebo Samuel though. Deebo Samuel. So Cooper Kupp, we entered last week. Cooper Kupp basically led wide receivers all throughout the league in basically every category, but didn't do jack shit against us. And now Deebo Samuel's dropped 150 yards last week. So now he's number one in most. Number one or right at the top in basically every wide receiver category right now. So it's it's a gauntlet one after another for Byron and that group. But it looks like Jimmy G did not practice this week, so there's a good chance we'll be seeing Trey Lance make his first career start. What do you guys think about that?
It makes me nervous because you know this team and those second string quarterbacks, man. This could go one of two ways, and I'm hoping that this team continues the trend that we've seen so far this season. But I like our chances. I think that this is a very stout team we have, and I think that unlike most years when we faced these second string players late in the season, our injury list isn't quite as deep as it is most years. There's not a lot of big holes that would be susceptible to that kind of thing. I mean, it shouldn't matter, but I'm still nervous.
Well, did you see our injury list today?
Oh yeah, but I mean it's the beginning of the week.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's Wednesday. Yeah, but still,
yeah, we've got time.
And half of those were personal, so I mean, I can't be too worried about it. So I mean,
yeah, it's still fairly linked. It's definitely something to keep an eye on. What do you think, Jackie, though, about facing Trey Lance?
I'm not sure when the last time we ever lost to a rookie second string quarterback. I do like our odds. Even Kyle Shanahan was like, after he played Sunday, was like, well, this is why he's been the number 2 guy because he's not ready. Plus, you take away that really long touchdown.
Deebo, yeah.
Yeah, his stats aren't that good. Even in the preseason, his stats weren't that good.
Yeah,
he's just good for one deep throw.
Yeah. And with the Niners coming into town, just want to give a little, Trent Sherfield, because I know Twitter was going crazy. Trent Sherfield is right now on pace for 13 catches for 136 yards. And I know his guy in preseason was Trey Lance. So we'll see if, Trey's out there, or we're going to get a little dose of Trent Sherfield. But it'd be good to see him and have him get a taste of this secondary and shut up a lot of those fans from the offseason who are calling Kime out for letting Sherfield go. Because really, where's he going to play if he was still on the Cardinals?
Absolutely sleep over losing a fifth string wide receiver is kind of
Twitter.
Stupid.
That's idiots for you.
But I mean, that's the entire offseason though. You worry about losing the 5th best guy on your core, and it's like,
oh my God, we lost Dan Arnold. And Max Williams is freaking fucking stud. Shout out to Max Williams. Guy had 5 catches again. I did not expect him coming into this year being one of the best tight ends in the league right now to this point. So, but be prepared. I picked him up in basically every fantasy league, so he's due to have a regression now. So I apologize, folks.
Yeah, I mean,
thanks, mister.
I mean, Dan Arnold was basically used as a salary filler in a trade to get a far better player. So I mean, I'm not losing too much sleep over losing him. I never really quite got the Colt status he had, but whatever.
Yeah, you can't really do. It's like I don't know. It's a long hair or something. I don't know. Who knows?
Might be the hair.
Luck to
He's
him
just
though.
handsome.
He just got.
That's all.
But speaking of the Niners, if the Cardinals win this upcoming week against the 49ers, here's a stat that I dug up personally. It'll be their first 5-0 start since 1974.
That's crazy. I don't know what else you can really say. The one thing that gives me, I know there are some fans who are kind of worried about this game coming up, but just breaking it down a little bit, going into a little bit of their game logs. The Niners have given up 28 or more points in 3 of their first 4 games.
And the only one they didn't was a really ugly win against the Eagles, and I mean that
exactly.
was only scoring 17 points against that Eagles team. That's pathetic.
Yeah, so there's going to be so last week, so they played the Seahawks, right? Yeah. And I was shocked by this. Their first 5 possessions by the Seahawks were all 3 and outs, which kind of like blows my mind. And so their first down, Seahawks' first down wasn't until 5 minutes left in the second quarter, which is kind of nuts. But then after that, Seahawks scored touchdowns on 4 of their next 6 possessions or 7 possessions. So yeah, that's my bold prediction of the week is that DeAndre Hopkins is going to get 10 catches this week against a secondary that had Cardinals legend Drake Kirkpatrick play 100% of the snaps last week. So that's definitely a defense that can get got.
Jesus Christ.
If he doesn't get thrown out of the game for throwing a punch.
Oh man, I'm so glad he's gone. The thing that I'm looking at, this is a trend that I noticed. The Seahawks lost to our sloppy seconds in the Titans and the Vikings both times, and they barely beat the Niners. So if the trend holds up, I think we beat the Niners handily. Because I mean, the teams that Seattle lost to were the teams we beat.
Not very good.
Yeah, they're not very good, and they barely beat the Niners. So it's like they barely beat the Niners, and they lost to those other teams that were not very good. We should. Yeah, I'm rambling. I sound like a fucking WWE.
No.
Are you saying we're gonna sweep the whole division?
I'm saying there's a chance.
There is a good chance.
I'm really, really liking what I'm seeing, and if anybody knows me, that is the highest of compliments.
I know, the most pessimistic Cardinals fan that I know.
John Skelton exists. Come on.
That's
Mr.
true.
5-12.
I love how that graphic, like everyone else on that graphic too, because that graphic kind of made its way around Twitter again today, or this week. Everyone else is basically under 500, right?
Right.
Those will remain nameless, but
Start wars here.
We're talking about cult following that can't chug a beer, but we won't go that far.
Cup in the balls. Hey, if we ever have to take professional headshots, let's not look that stupid.
I will say though that with the Niners, Trey Sermon looks like kind of the real deal. He didn't really get his first action until last week. But he's a guy you got to. I mean, the running game. If I'm the Niners, legit, like, you're gonna be running. If Trey Lance has to go out there, I'm doing RPO more times than not. And it looked like when he was out there in the second half, they were doing a lot more run play options than they would with Jimmy. Obviously, I think Trey had like 6 carries on the ground in that second half, basically. He had in Trey Sermon. It looks like Elijah Mitchell will be back, who was forced into the starting lineup week 1. But that is it's still a dangerous offense when you have George Kittle. I know he's been kind of banged up with an ankle, kind of almost messed his knee up a little bit on a bad hit, but thankfully he was all right last week. And then Ayuk has started off really slow. So they do have some weapons there. So I'm not, I love our defense, but I think if they game plan right and they start with, hitting the hole running and they don't go away from it except for take the right chances, it could be a little bit of a dogfight. I love our chances still. I think we're going to put up close to 40 again. I mean, we're the only team in the NFL that entered last week with at least 30 points in every game, and we put up our season high in points, or right up there with 37. So I feel like it's gonna be a shootout, even with Trey Lance in there. I think there are some things San Fran can do well that is our biggest deficiency on defense, but it should still be. If we're gonna predict the score, I still think Cardinals should win by double digits at the end of the day, though.
Yeah, I think that this is going to be very much like one of Cliff's old Texas Tech games, and that's going to be a real shootout, and it's going to all come down to who makes the least mistakes. I think that it'll be. I think that every little bit's going to count this week.
I also shout out Cliff too for calling a lot better games this season.
Oh yeah.
You can tell his confidence is like through the roof.
Yeah, and I don't know. Swing.
You know what? And I also wonder, is it also Kyler being able to option out into the correct read? Last year and the year before, that's kind of something we talked about then the last year, is how we would like to see Kyler take a little bit more control of the offense. Doesn't seem like he checks out a lot. And I still don't see him checking out a lot, but I know that they talked about how Rodney Hudson has been even helping Kyler check out a play, see something between the linebackers and safeties, and he'll kind of check out certain plays. So I also wonder if it's, if Cliff calling the same game, but now Kyler has that,
smarter. He's just smarter this year.
Yeah, and so any quarterback or any coach who calls one play and you stick to that one play, that's not. I feel like that's less of a recipe for success than if you have a pretty smart offensive mind like Cliff, on top of having basically the coach in the huddle now. Because that is something with Kyler's leadership. Do you guys think that Kyler just sounds, he's more of a leader, looks more of a leader? He doesn't have those, I don't think I've seen him frown once this year. I don't know. I just feel like everything about him, he's turning into that coach on the field. So, but yeah, shout out to Cliff though too. I mean, he's getting better, and there's not a lot of crap people can talk on him right now, even though some still, want to give all the credit to Kyler. You can't. It's got to be, kind of a timeshare right there on that credit, because they're both doing a hell of a job for sure.
No, to add to your point too, not only with Kyler maturing, but it's also the personnel that we have now. We can execute things better that he wanted to do in previous years. We just couldn't do because we didn't have the line, we didn't have the receivers, we didn't have the running backs that we needed. So shout out to Steve Keim as well too, for nailing the draft these last couple of years, and then for really nailing all these free agent vets that we signed in this last offseason.
The depth across the offensive line is what stood out to me too. We've had some injuries. Kelvin Beachum hasn't played in 2 weeks, and that looks like an upgrade. That's crazy. You wouldn't have said that last year. So, yeah, shout out to Keim for sure.
And our rushing game especially, it's like we, against the Rams, who, mind you, again, one of the best defenses in the league, our rushing offense combined for just a little bit over 200 yards rushing. I mean, I don't think... We definitely couldn't have done that last year
without Kyler dropping 120 yards with his feet too.
Oh yeah,
because last year I would imagine most of the almost half of the rushing yards was Kyler alone.
And I mean, so, yeah. and the guy who had the most rushing yards didn't have the most touchdowns this week. Our bruiser James Conner had 2 touchdowns despite having only 50 yards. I mean, James Conner, having him in the red zone, I think is a very, very welcome change compared to having Kenyon Drake last year. I mean, Conner gets it done. I talked a lot of smack about him in the preseason episode, I think, but
he runs hard as hell. Yeah, he wants to get upfield, and he's not afraid to put his shoulder into you, and that's even though people play defense, they don't like to be the ones getting hit. James Conner looks like he thrives on that, so that's great to see for sure.
James Conner's ready to die, and I love it.
Yeah, no, we have a really solid running back tandem. I think it complements Chase Edmonds being that like kind of shifty. He's not super fast, but he's got speed. He can catch the ball as well, and then James Conner's just your downhill like power back.
Yeah,
it's a perfect, perfect
tandem.
Because Kenyon Drake scored what, a dozen touchdowns last year, but we all could see he did not want to be physical. He did not want to hit that hole and try to run over a linebacker.
He's trying to go to the outside and not get hit.
You have a running back who's ready to drop their freaking shoulder and helmet on the motherfucker, and make him feel your wrath. That gets the offensive line hype. That gets everyone hyped right there, instead of some dude trying to run east and south or east and west. Damn, 2 Modelos, and you already get me saying east and south. Okay.
Are your shoes on right?
No shoes.
Hey, at least you're sounding smarter than the national media is when they talk about us.
Drunk Mac is smarter than half of these analysts.
Yo, fuck Keyshawn Johnson and fuck Colin Cowherd having us 4th, man. That's some fucking bullshit.
Yeah, power rankings is like how you describe PFF, where it's like...
Yeah, it's all subjective.
Astrology.
Yeah, it's
right. That's a good way to put it.
Where if it fits, then you're all with it, but if it doesn't fit,
like Cowherd having the Ravens ahead of us is just complete bullshit.
I thought he loved Tyler. No, he doesn't believe in Cliff.
I mean, I guess they got to do whatever they can to keep viewership, but it's just like I don't fucking get it, man.
I don't know, because he sings his praises one week and then the next, I don't know. But I feel like that's every like big sports media is that they never give us the full credit, or they come up with excuses for why LA had a bad game. Like I heard,
it's never us doing the right thing. It's them doing the wrong thing. It's bullshit.
Yeah, they were trying to say Matt Stafford's never had speedy wide receiver, so that's why he was underthrowing the ball.
Even though he crushed the first 3 weeks, Jesus.
Yeah, with Deshaun Jackson, shut the fuck up.
Even though he had like separation in half of his fucking games, it's like it is.
And he had time to throw. He has plenty of time to throw.
It is the strangest thing to see the national media treat us like we're some kind of small market team when like Phoenix is the 5th biggest city in the United States. It is really, really weird, the kind of reception that they give, frankly, all Arizona teams. I don't get it. Whatever.
Whatever.
It's because they all like to come here friggin' in the winter and then they hate it in the summer. So, you know how snowbirds are. They're fucking loyal to their soil. So, this ain't their soil. And it's just like everyone else who comes here, they talk shit on it, but, they love to be here. It's like, get the fuck out of our town if you don't want to be here. Talking to you, LA fans. Don't want you here.
Am I right? All right. But yeah, I mean, running back game looks stout. Our wide receiver core looks great. There was something I noticed in like one little play. Rondale Moore. I said in this note. Rondale Moore has insane maneuverability. It's like he has all-wheel drive. He had a play where it's like he was almost like just a hair from going out of bounds, and he just whips back in. And it's just like
third down.
Yeah, it was just completely insane. It's like just that small thing. It's like half of our receivers couldn't do that. I bet most of theirs couldn't do that. I mean, Rondale Moore.
Oh, no.
Rondale Moore. I mean, if he was on any other team, I'd say he'd be the consensus rookie of the year for the NFC. But the fact that our wide receiver room is so packed that he doesn't, get all that attention. I mean, how crazy is that? That our wide receiver room is so stacked that like this guy who could be a potential rookie of the year is just another guy in the room.
Well, I found this stat this week. So the Cardinals have 6 guys who've been targeted at least, I believe the threshold's 15 or 16 times already this year. And 4 of the 6 guys have a completion percentage when they're targeted of 89, at least 89%, which absolutely blows my mind. Like Max Williams is like 15 for 16 this year. Rondale Moore's like 16 for 18 this year. Like, and the 2 guys that aren't are AJ Green and DeAndre Hopkins. So when your number 1 and 2 receivers can be surrounded with a Chase Edmonds who's caught 19 of 20 fucking passes, Max Williams a tight end, and then you add in Christian Kirk and Rondale Moore. Like Kyler is like a fucking king right now, sitting on his throne, looking at his complement of women to his side and grub, turkey leg to his left. Figure out what he wants to do. Because Kyler's the thing that makes it all roll. Because on that play that you're talking about to Rondale, if I remember correctly, it's a 3rd and 14 right there. Kyler acts like he's gonna. It's shotgun, gets the ball. Play kind of breaks down. He acts like he's gonna run forward, right? And so he runs up close to the line of scrimmage. The linebacker breaks off Rondale. Go, he's got to basically keep Kyler in check. Kyler just dishes it out to the Rondale, who was covered by that linebacker. So it's just like shit like that. And then if that linebacker doesn't come, Kyler could break that run for 15 yards for that first down, like he did down the sideline on that other 3rd down play. On that other 3rd down play, I know a lot of people talk about, his DeAndre Hopkins. Will he be unhappy with his amount of targets? And if you see that play again, if you watch that 3rd down and 16 run to the left side by Kyler, look downfield and look who's blocking right past the first down marker. DeAndre Hopkins is fucking manning that guy up while Kyler's running the whole friggin' time. Like that guy, he wants to win. Everyone wants to win. It's one thing if you're 0-4. It's another thing if you're 4-0. And so, but I think this is the week that D Hop comes back, and he's that guy. Yeah.
That Niners secondary looks kind of sus, but there's just limitless possibilities for this team on offense, and frankly, I think that's what makes this team the most exciting team to watch in all of football right now. This team looks like Mahomes did in his first year, just firing on all cylinders. Love it. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, we can spend all day talking about each individual player on that offense. That's just there's just so much wow factor going around. Time constraints. I don't think everybody wants to listen for 20 hours, but to add to with Rondale, I've noticed that in, I would say, all 4 games, he's had like a real clutch moment where the play is kind of breaking down and Kyler has been able to find him. So that's a very good thing to have on your team.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, he's had a very clutch play where he's scrambling and Rondale's there.
What was that, the one against the Vikings where he was like downfield, where it kind of like broke down? They threw to him. They got that long touchdown. That's a good point. Yeah, dang. Then, oh yeah. What was I going to say? I'm not even going to touch this. I sent a tweet out earlier yesterday about I wouldn't trade Kyler for anyone in the league. So I won't really touch that right now, even though I kind of wanted to. So I asked on Twitter if anyone has any questions. TechZona asked, what do you guys think about Zaven Collins' lack of snaps so far? You guys worried about it? He hasn't heard the story behind what's going on there, but to go from starting to barely playing, what do we think?
If we're still winning these games, I can't lose too much sleep about it. Yeah. I haven't seen anything from Jordan Hicks that would indicate that he, we could see much better from Zaven Collins, and sometimes it just does take more time for these rookies to get settled in their environment. Simmons, he was a higher drafted pick than Collins was, and we barely saw him last year. If he needs time, I'd say give him time.
Yeah, that's my thoughts exactly. Like I guess we're in a good spot where we're not having to bring a rookie in that may not be ready. So it's a good problem to have. It's just, I know people want to see such a high draft pick get some playing time. They just want to see what he can do. But if if it's not broke, don't fix it.
I agree.
Exactly, and it was Keim who was saying that Zaven to be starting over Hicks. It wasn't coaching. It wasn't any of them. I think it was just Keim talking out of his ass.
Yeah.
Seriously. Yeah, he probably said it at like a friggin', at the bar at a function or something, just kind of, spitting.
After some Chardonnays.
Right. But no, I agree with you guys. It's the NFL for a reason. And like you mentioned, Will, Isaiah Simmons was drafted ahead, and he basically Zaven's getting that Isaiah Simmons treatment this year, which is fine. When you're winning, like, we're not here to develop guys on the fly. This coach, Vance Joseph, he's coaching for his livelihood too. He's going to play the guys he trusts, and that is a very difficult position. The Mike linebacker, you have to put everyone else in the right positions, and with kind of a young DB core, I mean, I don't necessarily blame Vance. I think that you know Hicks and Isaiah could still be a little bit better in the run game. I feel like they both get kind of swallowed up just watching a little bit, and that takes time too for a young guy like Isaiah who's so athletic. Sometimes you get overexcited, and on those counter plays you bite a little hard. But right now it hasn't hurt us at all. So, but no doubt about it, I still think Zaven is the future, and we'll see that, at worst first thing starting next year. But as of right now, yeah, I agree. That's not something that we should be losing sleep about.
Yeah, I mean, we have seen plenty of examples of these rookies being thrown into the fire and just them not being able to survive. I would so much rather have this, have him come out, fully ready to go than have him have to learn everything on the fly.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Oh man, I'm so fucking happy, man. I love this. Shit.
If you guys are still listening right now, thank you. Appreciate you guys. And if you guys, I was gonna talk shit about the thumbs down we get on sometimes on Twitter from the kids, but those motherfuckers aren't listening anyways. But we like to go by as we're that podcast that will outdrink your favorite Cardinals podcast under the table every single day. So appreciate y'all.
We won't cup the balls.
Except
we have form.
Speak for yourself. Talking about chugging. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, I'm also reading some of the comments that you posted on Twitter, and I saw an interesting question from Tyler. It says, if the Cardinals team, or compare the Cardinals team to a beer, which are they and why? All right, well, this is 21.
Do you remember what beer tastes like, Jackie, since you're pregnant? Or you know what beer is?
I have the worst cravings for beer.
I couldn't even imagine during like sports and shit.
Yeah, no, at least I don't wake up on Mondays with a hangover.
That's always a good thing.
If you're in Arizona, it's called, what's it called? Uncle Bear's Barkley's Peanut Butter Cup Porter. I would say that's the Cardinals because it's a really smooth, kind of sweet, but also it's got some hair on your chest. Hair's on its chest.
Okay. I go with a little moon juice. That thing will fuck you up.
Bantam moon juice, yeah.
And that thing will fuck you up, and that's exactly what the Cardinals have been doing. Kyler's been taking motherfuckers to the moon and back all season, so we'll go with that. Appreciate you, Tyler. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, that was a fun one.
I can't drink, so I'm gonna keep it simple. Cardinals are Dr. Shut up.
I think you're crazy.
Cardinals are Dr. Pepper. People will always say, what's better, Coke or Pepsi? But come on, it's Dr. Pepper. Let's be real here.
I agree. As a Dr. Pepper fan, I agree.
Absolutely.
I like Coke.
Wow. Oh no. All right. We're just gonna pretend that didn't even happen.
At least you didn't say Diet Coke.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But
no, fuck Diet Coke.
Right.
Shit. I mean, I'm pretty well done with these notes. You guys want to get into predictions?
Yeah.
Is there any other questions on here?
Yeah. What do you got? Let's do one more. Who's the lucky? Okay, let's do Mr. Arizona since I know he posted. He asked, this is just more kind of betting line, so and I kind of like that. Will the Cardinals cover the 5.5 spread? I think I said we're going to win by double digits, so hell yeah, I love that 5.5 spread. I would over all day.
Okay.
And then over under total points 49.5.
So yeah, I think it's going to be a high scoring affair. I mean,
yeah, Cardinals have scored 30 points in every game, so you figure at least 30. There's, they probably put up something in the
unless
teens.
it looks like that Bills game that the Bills had last week, I'd say that 49 is a pretty reasonable bet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Cardinals cover, and we're all going the over.
100%. So that means it is time to get into predictions. Tomorrow, Thursday night.
Who won last week? Let's get a shout out if Jordan's listening. Thanks for coming on, Jordan, if you're still listening. But sorry you finished last, my man.
Did you lose to me, man? I started with Daniel Jones.
Our first guest of the year, though. I mean, that we can't let him beating any of us out. So that's kind of proud of this show. And the winner was Whoa Bobbles. That boy, you got 13 out of 16 games correct, I believe. We need to start taking him to Vegas.
Yeah, I didn't start Daniel Jones this week, though. I got the fantasy dub for the first time this year.
Nice,
good for you.
I'm getting real risky this week. I'm starting Cordell Patterson over James Robinson.
I started Cordell last week.
Let's go.
That fucking worked out. That worked out. 3 touchdowns in the air.
I'm frankly surprised he was still on the waiver wire.
I think that was a 16-team league. How you doing in that league, Jackie? I know we're in that 16-team league together.
Y'all didn't invite me.
I won last week. It's
Jackie's league. Blame her.
Wow.
I inherited it somehow.
Can't trust your friends.
It's kind of like a divorce where you get custody of the kids that you didn't want. That's how I inherited this fantasy league.
I see.
True.
Yeah. All right.
I won last week. That's all I know. I kind of gave up.
So come on, play it out.
I'll play it out. Why not?
Week 5 of the NFL season. Let's talk predictions. Thursday night football. We hate this one. Rams Seahawks. Who y'all got?
The Lambs. I'm going to do it, but yeah. Seahawks defense is even worse than the Rams. What the Rams have been showing this year in their secondary. So I'm going LA.
I'm going LA just because I want them to win and be like, wow, the Cardinals beat this team that put a whooping on Seattle.
Oh, could you imagine?
I don't want Seattle to get too hot.
Yeah.
So.
I think it's going to be Seattle. I mean, Seattle's playing at home. Rams are coming off a really, really physical game against the Cardinals. I mean, I'd be very surprised if they come out swinging against the Seahawks.
Okay. I like it.
And to open up our Sunday slate of games, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time, 6 a.m. Pacific. Mac, tell me if you're going to wake up for this one. Jets-Falcons. This is the Britain game. This is our finest game we can send to the UK.
Maybe to watch Cordell Patterson. Who knows? But no, probably not.
Shout out to our friend Tom, British Bird Gang, friend of the show.
I'm absolutely kicking for not asking to film a prediction about this game.
Damn. Hey, Tom, if you're listening.
Maybe next
week. Get him on. There's a couple more this year, right? A couple more London games or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, we're hoping to get British Bird Gang on here definitely by the end of the year. We had him on last year. So, shout out to Tom. I think he is a hell of a Cardinals account. So, if for some reason you don't follow him, change that. So,
follow.
Yeah, so Jets. Bo Bobble's got the Jets. He's going. Okay. I'm going Atlanta.
Yeah, it's got to be Atlanta. I don't trust that. I don't trust that Jets team at all.
No, hell no.
They got their one win, and I think
they
might win a couple more.
Yeah, Zach Wilson.
It won't be this week.
Zach Wilson is an absolute bum. Oof.
Well, I mean,
this quarterback class is absolutely dreadful so far.
It's been cheeks.
Well, I mean, look at Sam Darnold. What he's doing a pretty damn good job right now with the Panthers, I think, and he wasn't showing really any of that with the Jets. I think when you're in kind of that turmoil as a franchise and you're running through head coaches, QBs, there's something bigger there, and it starts at the top. We've seen that here in Arizona ourselves. Luckily, we're not really going through that right now, other than with the Diamondbacks. But the ownership, the Jets, I don't know if there's any really savior ahead of them. So, but yeah, so 3 of us go ATL. Bo Bobbles goes Jets. Can't take that back, Bobby.
Bobby, that is shameful. Man, this year's quarterback class was cheeks. This upcoming one might be. I mean, any class that has Sam Howell that high. Oof. Whatever.
Oof.
Open up the 1 p.m. slate of games. You got Pats, Texans. Who y'all got?
Pats.
I gotta go to New England. I'm impressed that they held their own against Tampa like they did last week.
They went toe to toe.
Yeah.
I am really annoyed that even after that game, that took up so much, real estate and discussions about Sunday's games, because it's like that was an absolutely ass game. 19-17 for a Sunday night game. What is this? 1972?
You don't like defense? Well, I didn't even watch it. Was it raining? I think I heard it was raining.
It was raining towards the end. It was raining towards the end.
I didn't watch it.
Nick, fucking Belichick asked Nick Folk to kick his career high in rainy weather, a 56-yarder to win the game, as opposed to just going for it. They had time. I don't.
You ain't got Vinatieri no more.
I think the Pats win, but that's not a endorsement of them being good.
Are they playing again?
The Texans.
Oh yeah, fuck that.
So we're all in agreement. Yeah. We're all in agreement.
I think the Texans QB, my brother was telling me today, just how awful he was. 3 or 4 INTs, 81 total yards, like 50 of them went to Brandon Cooks. The number 2 receiver was David Johnson with like 21 yards or something. Like, sheesh.
No shit is bad.
Unless they just, try to start Watson in the middle of the year, I think we chose the perfect game to go to.
Yes, sir. That's gonna be hopefully ass whooping. Should be.
I purposely planned my baby shower around that game.
Let's pray. Lions, Vikings. Who y'all got?
Minnesota.
I'm gonna say the Lions. I feel like the Lions are due for a win
against the Vikings.
I feel like against the Vikings, that's my upset of the week.
Wow. We need to start doing this for money.
I don't know about all that, but
yeah, I mean that Vikings receiver core and rushing game. You can't ignore that. I think it's the Vikings, no doubt about it. After that, you got Eagles, Panthers. Who y'all got?
The Panthers that just acquired Stephon Gilmore,
who won't be able to play till week 6.
Won't be okay. Didn't they acquire somebody else recently?
They just traded Dan Arnold for
Right.
So he'll be able to play.
What do I say, Panthers? I'm a believer in the Eagles.
There am I, but for some reason I don't know if it's me because I have Jalen Hurts in like one of my fucking fantasy leagues or what. But
the Modelo.
It's my Modelo. And the lack of dinner so far. So that could be it. But I'm going Philly.
Yeah, Philly hasn't looked good in any. The only game they looked halfway convincing in was that beatdown of the Falcons, and that should never be your best win.
I just don't think I believe in the Panthers yet, but I believe I saw somewhere that
I believe in them against the Eagles. Are you kidding me? Panthers all the way.
Okay, folks.
After that, you got Saints versus the Washington football team. Who y'all got?
The football team.
It's a tough one. I'm going to Washington.
Yeah, it's Washington. The Saints haven't looked all that convincing, and Washington is looking pretty stout.
Heineke Hive.
Heineke fever, baby.
All right.
Yeah, I saw he had like some good feel-good stories, so yeah, I guess I'm a low-key Heineke fan.
After that, you got Titans, Jags. Who y'all got?
Well, speaking of cheeks.
We're recording on Wednesday.
Oh, Bobby, you can't take that back, man. Oh,
Bobby's
my Lord.
going Jags.
Oh, no.
Throw the whole team away.
Fucking Tennessee lost to the
What do you mean we,
Titans.
Bobby? We in France?
Tennessee lost to the Jets, though. So who the fuck? If Julio Jones and AJ Brown don't play, I guess anything's up in there. But I gotta go Tennessee just so Will doesn't make fun of me.
It took everything going wrong for the Jets to win that game. It's not going to happen. It's got to be the Titans.
Okay. Talk big.
Shelly
talk
Meyer's
for a
going to
guy.
be coaching that game.
Who?
Shelly Meyer, Urban's wife.
Woo-hoo.
Speaking of which, we got to talk about him real quick. Sorry, fucking hate. I
We're
don't like
doing this. We're doing this.
I don't like segueing during predictions, but we got to talk about it. Urban Meyer fucking imploding. Holy shit.
It's a little butt play. So what? Get off his back. No, I'm kidding.
If you would have told me that a coach was going to be in some hot water for sticking his fingers in a blonde's ass and it wasn't Cliff Kingsbury, man.
Cliff Kingsbury. And I think Jackie was the one who sent, did you send that post into our group chat about how
Which one?
I know, right? Him and his wife's photo was at the bar or something.
Yeah, there was a picture of him and his wife at the bar.
It wasn't even a picture. It was a fucking mural. Mural
on the wall.
Yeah, they're like kissing. Man. Why would you go cheat in like the state you're most famous for?
You'd think the place, the NFL city, it would be the easiest not to party in is Cincinnati. Oh my God. What is he doing?
At least I was like, the one thing we do know about that is that Urban Meyer drinks dark liquor because that's some dark liquor behavior. I agree. As a man who's had dark liquor once or twice, yeah, that's you do some regrettable things.
Oh, jeez. Good Lord, Urban. That whole team's about to implode. I mean, the Jags are.
His players laughed at him after his apology. And he tried to lie and then blame it on the girl. Anyway,
I didn't know. My brother told me today that he didn't take the team plane home. He wanted to hang out with buddies that night, and that's the night like it happened. So the team fucking went back to Jacksonville, and your head coach stayed behind.
Great leadership.
Let's add an additional prediction into the mix. By week 8, will Urban Meyer be out of a job?
I think somehow, some way, he finds a way to finish the season, but I don't think there's any way he comes back next year.
Jackie?
They're going to fire him week 12.
Bobby's type. He says fired week 9. I think he makes it the whole season. If they could take it 3 mediocre to terrible years with Doug Marrone, they can take it even farther with Urban. I think he makes it the whole year. But man, oh my God, it is just absolutely insane to see how fast that team is imploding. Good Lord! All right, segue over.
Jackie, did you pick the Titans? Sorry.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Segue over. Dolphins, Bucks. Who y'all got?
Bucks. Got to. Dolphins are a joke.
Yeah, Dolphins have just completely fallen off this year. I don't know what happened.
As a Myles Gaskins fantasy owner. Fuck the Dolphins. All my homies hate the Dolphins.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened to them. I've got to go Bucks.
Oh.
Jackie, what you think? You got an upset?
No, I'm gonna go Bucks too. I had such high hope for the Dolphins this year, and they're just not doing it.
After that, you got Packers, Bengals. Who y'all got?
Could see an upset here. This is one of those where it does feel like there could be an upset. Bo Bowles goes Green Bay.
The fact that it's not at Lambeau, I've got to say Cincinnati. They're looking really hot right now, and I
am gonna go Cincy too.
That Burrow to Chase connection.
It's
pretty hot.
Even their tight end was putting on a show on that Thursday night game. That thrilling Thursday night game.
Yeah.
It's
me,
Jacksonville.
me and Bobabo's got to save the podcast, so I'll go Green Bay. We'll go 50-50.
Wow. All right.
Wow. Amen.
All right. After that, you got Broncos Steelers in Pittsburgh. Who y'all got?
Fuck. Both teams. In Pittsburgh?
In Pittsburgh.
We'll go Pitt. Is Drew Lock starting for
Bridgewater?
Denver?
Or wait, no, is Bridgewater?
Yeah, hurt, right? Who knows? Okay.
I think he got hurt actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I know what you're talking about.
I'm going Pitt. But Bobbles, you're in Denver or you're in freaking Colorado. Why don't you answer this? We need you. Hello.
He said Broncos.
No, I was asking what happened to Bridgewater.
Headline: Bridgewater returns to team meetings and weight room. Will not practice Wednesday. That sounds like it could happen.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Denver. I mean Big Ben is just an absolute detriment to that Steelers team right now. Good Lord. Them giving him a player option for $40 million was the stupidest thing that team has ever done. Good Lord.
Yeah, he's really holding them back. They should have drafted his replacement, by now. But whatever, that's not a problem.
Mason Rudolph, and he threw a shit fit, and Mason Rudolph wasn't fucking good.
I'm gonna say Steelers. At what point do you think they're gonna start Dwayne Haskins?
Never.
That's right. He is in Pittsburgh, huh?
Never. Dwayne Haskins is awful.
I don't know.
He won't fall down trying to run.
I don't know, man. He was pretty dreadful for Washington. Do they even still have Haskins? I thought they cut him.
I think they have him still.
They do. What the fuck?
I think they still do. I mean, you're going to give the guy another opportunity. It was a top draft pick, so I think it'd be more towards the end of the year, especially if Pittsburgh falls out of the playoff race.
Yeah, I mean, that's that AFC. Man, the AFC is just insane this year. The AFC North is looking crazy. The AFC West is insane. I mean, it's going to be a real tight finish in that division, in that conference, man. It's crazy. But yeah, Broncos all the way.
Yes, sir. Oh,
all right.
What? No, Pittsburgh.
All right. To open up your late slate of games, you got Bears Raiders. Oh boy, that's awful. Who y'all got?
Is that awful? I mean, I'm going Raiders.
Well, it's awful that the Bears are even on television, is what I'm saying.
I'm going to say Raiders.
Yeah, it's got to be the Raiders.
Take the Raiders. Getting over now.
It's got to be the Raiders. I mean, oh geez, that Bears team. How does Matt Nagy still have a job? He is the biggest stain on that Andy Reid coaching.
He's the biggest skid mark on the underwear of the Bears.
That too. After that, you got a really, really solid matchup. You got Browns Chargers. Who y'all got?
Ooh. Okay.
That is a tough one. That's not a Sunday night, that's an afternoon game?
That's an afternoon game. The Sunday night game is actually pretty good this week. Though.
I am going to go. Where's that game at?
LA. But it doesn't matter because it's the Chargers. So I mean, it's going to be a Brown stadium regardless.
I'm going Chargers. I think the Browns defense might be the best in the NFL. They've held multiple teams, not great teams, but multiple teams to 7 points or less already, half their games. That pass rush is fucking devastating. So, but I still don't trust Baker. So I'm definitely, I gotta go Herbert Hive.
I say Chargers as well.
Shit, somebody's gotta be a contrarian. I'm gonna say Bills.
Bills.
Sorry, Brown. That would be contrarian. I'm gonna say Browns.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say the Browns. All right. After that, this is your NFL game of the week. This is the game that's getting priority over our game. You got Giants Cowboys being aired to half of America. Who y'all got?
Jesus. I hate picking Dallas, but I will.
I say Giants.
It's got to be Dallas. I mean, Giants look rough this year.
They do, but I'm going to say Giants.
I hate these old power dynamics, man. I mean, that rivalry hasn't been relevant in 20 years. whatever.
Will, you're going Dallas?
Yeah.
Okay.
Fuck this whole matchup and fuck the fact that it's the NFL game of the week.
Well, Bobble's going Giants as well.
All right. Sunday night, you got Bills Chiefs. A really, really good Sunday night matchup to get the stink out of the last one. Who you got?
I gotta Chiefs.
I gotta go Chiefs. I can't see them falling to 2 and 3.
No.
That's really tricky. I think the Chiefs defense makes it so that it's a real contest. That Chiefs defense is really bad. I'm gonna say Bills. I mean, they've been beating down on bad competition so far, but I mean, sometimes that's what you need. I'm gonna say that the Bills win. It's gonna be a close one.
Okay.
Monday night, one of the most unspoken rivalries in all of the NFL. Colts Ravens. Who y'all got?
I say the Colts.
Really? All right.
I gotta go Ravens.
Yeah, it's got to be the Ravens. I mean, the Colts have let up the most. Again, stealing from that guy again.
I love how Jackie goes. Okay, my upset of the week is Detroit over Minnesota. And
that's the more of a long shot.
Continues to pick 4 other upsets.
I mean,
the Lions winning a game is more of a long shot than any of those other games.
I mean, the Colts have given up 39 quarterback hits all year. I mean, that's what we had. That's what we had in the game last year. Heyo.
Holy fuck. That's crazy.
I mean that Quentin Nelson injury is really, really hurting them. That they look really bad. This is the worst they've looked since I want to say just prior to Luck. So I'm gonna say the Ravens. I would be really surprised if it turned out to be the Colts.
I agree.
So that leads us to your 425 game. Your Arizona Cardinals versus the actually kind of nice weather, enjoying the not even San Francisco 49ers. Who do y'all have?
Cardinals. 41-19.
Oh, wow.
Like it. Gotta go AZ. And I'm going 40-17.
Wow. All right.
Woohoo!
I'm gonna make it a little closer. I'm gonna say it's gonna be Arizona. I'm gonna say it's gonna be 35-24. I think they're definitely gonna have the over in terms of points scored. I think the Niners have a damn good team and a damn bad coach. So
Bo Bravo goes AZ 41-17. Damn, we're all right there except for Will. Well, I mean, even Will has an 11-point game. I 23. Woo! I didn't even. Okay. Let's go, Cardinals!
Can we just take in how crazy this all is that this team could potentially be undefeated by the time we all meet up? How crazy is that? I don't think any of us would have expected that going into the season.
It's not.
It's a pleasant surprise for sure.
Yeah, let's not test fate though. 1 week at a time, baby. All the Cardinals players on social media say.
Exactly what I would say if I believed
we'll
lose in every game. We're gonna suck.
Wow. So yeah, I mean, I can't wait for that Texans game to get here so we can all meet up or whatever. But let's just enjoy this week and hopefully we come back next week and it's 5-0.
Yeah, I mean, first time since '74, and man, oh man, I am just absolutely giddy waiting for this game, man. I haven't been this excited for the Cardinals in a very, very long time. I mean, good Lord. And here I was just before the season started talking about, well, I think the benchmark as to, whether or not this team is good is who will I be paying attention more to on Christmas? And it's like, it's 4 weeks in and I've already got my answer. AZ all day.
Oh.
Yeah, you nerd.
I know the Suns are starting up and everything, but I'm sorry, it's football season. swear to God, Suns just fucking ended like 2 months ago. So I know everyone's all hyped and yeah, but I'm in football mode right now. That's just the way it is, the way it's gonna be. So, but shout out to everyone who tuned in, listened, and sent in your questions and everything like that. So we appreciate you guys. Appreciate y'all.
If you're listening on YouTube, leave us a eggplant emoji in the comments.
Subscribe.
Name your favorite incompletion thrown by Max Hall, and be specific. Date down.
If you were a beer, what kind of beer would you be?
Your social security number, credit card number, your
mom's
maiden name. Just the works. But legally, this is a joke. Yeah.
Wink, wink.
Bubbles, no. Jeez. But I think that about wraps it up. Do you guys have anything else to add?
I'm good.
No, just appreciate everyone tuning in, and we're here to try to kick ass for you guys. So thank you.
Yeah, 4-0, baby. We are a quarter of the way through the season, but man.
Next week we will hopefully have a couple guests on, surprise guests. So
all 5 of us will hopefully be losing our minds over the fact that we are 5-0.
Oh yeah.
Mac will get naked.
Hey, that's how I record every week.
Hey, this is YouTube, not Twitch, okay?
Oh, okay.
I thought I'm on.
This is an OnlyFans.
Right, there we go. I thought this was OnlyFans. My bad. I will close this computer now.
Oh man. But
already.
This has been another absolutely fucking stellar episode of the best Arizona Cardinals podcast in the universe, the Redbird Redzone. My name is Will. You can find me on Twitter at LiveOnThatSwing.
My name is Mac. You can find me on Twitter at AZSportsFien. That's FIEN.
And I'm Jackie. You can find me on Twitter at JSanDiego. That is 2 O's.
And this
has been the Redbird Redzone, a Max Hall production. Rights prohibited unless you pay me $5 to reproduce. And we